Just wanted to do a quick update on what's been going on. Um, so last night was a really challenging night. I did a bunch of laundry and had a reaction, so I was up most of the night, a lot of the night, and I also had a lot of meat before I went to bed, and I also had a hot dog. It's a grass-fed hot dog, organic and stuff, but I think it just kicked up my histamine levels really high, and so it ended up triggering some stuff. My liver was hurting and my stomach was hurting, and so I ended up taking some GI detox, which kind of helped. And then woke up a few hours later, 3 hours later, and then took 4 Pectisol pills, which then helped a little bit more. But it was interesting having, so the hot dogs would be high in histamine, and I noticed a reaction in my cerebellum again, and so I've been having these kind of strange physical tremors, and I was thinking that there's a possibility that that it somehow amplifies mycotoxins in the body. And so I know that the mast cell is triggered, and histamine is like, I mean, that's last time, that's how I was getting hives, really bad hives. So this time I've had way less reactions because I've pretty much been on an antihistamine diet. I even though avocados are a really important part of the glutathione diet, they're really high in histamines, and since I cut them out, I've seen some really good progress happening. So right now I'm really limiting myself to asparagus and wild blueberries and papaya, which is gut healing, and then all my tinctures and Pectisol and GI detox and a few things like that, and then a couple little trade secrets that I use that really help with candida overgrowth and controlling viruses and things like that, as your immune system takes a real dip while it's fighting mold. And then what most people don't know is how long mycotoxins take to get out of the body. They're really resilient, real troublemakers. But yesterday I woke up and it was so neat. It was like a breath of fresh air. I was dancing with my daughter. I had just a great focused day of work, and that led me to, for some reason, have some sourdough toast with butter and marmalade. Good healthy marmalade, and not the cheap Smucker stuff. And that I think triggered me too. I think getting the sugar in my body, and then that led to me wanting some of the kids' chips that I give them for their school. When they have their sandwiches, they share their chips, and they open chips and share them with their friends. It's kind of a neat little thing they do. And I ended up having a bag of these chips, cracked pepper and salt, and they were made with avocado oil, and once again, the avocado high histamine, and the chips, the black pepper, not good. Black pepper and curcumin, no matter what anyone tells you, it's not good. I can explain that in the membership course exactly why, because it's pretty extensive, but a lot of people think that, no, take curcumin, turmeric, black pepper, all that stuff. It's totally incorrect information. So so there was just a setback, but I just wanted to document it because I also noticed this thing, which might be squamous cell carcinoma, was bothering me. It was like itching and bugging. So I also noticed my eyes were really kind of itching. I can't tell if that's from the EC3 laundry soap. It's supposed to be all natural, and it's even supposed to be really good for sensitive people, but sometimes you can become so sensitive from mold exposure that even essential oils bother you. I have a ton of essential oils, and I just haven't had the desire to use them. I've got really nice stuff, and I got some stuff to deal with some candida, but I really have been keeping that in check just by cutting out bread, cutting out jams and fruits, and a lot of the things that can trigger that, and just sticking with blackberries, wild blueberries, papaya, and just a couple of other fruits that are on my list that keep me going and keep my liver with glucose in it. So I do have some raisins and I do have some dates, and I have that with celery, and that creates some fibrous bulk, which also helps with the transport of mold out of your system because it requires certain fiber to do that. So, yeah, one of the other things I wanted to mention was my ability to focus is completely different after a day where I let up even a tiny little bit. And if you look at the overall amount of food that I ate yesterday, less than 2% of it not was what I 98% was what I should have been eating. 2% was what I introduced, and that made a big difference. And it wasn't on a good day because it's the day that I was feeling so good that I decided to take all my stuff to the laundromat and use this new EC3 product again. And I think I was just exposed to a lot of the mycotoxins that were in my clothing. I already told you I don't want to get rid of my clothes. They're really expensive, and I don't want to get rid of them. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to hang on to everything I have and not lose to mold. But there are certain things that letting go of actually makes you win. And paper products. So sadly, a lot of my books, a lot of my really good stuff is I didn't want to take with me because it's paper, and papers, I don't know, for some reason it just really attracts mold, and I just don't want to bring that into my life and risk it. So I've left behind only a few thousand, maybe $3,000-4,000 worth of stuff, and but I can't get rid of one of my, like, I got a leather jacket. It's really cool. It's $1,500, and a couple of other things like that I got some nice wool jackets, and they were covered, but mycotoxin pores are so small that they can go right through the covering, and so I've got to treat them, and I can't wash them. They're really expensive jackets, and I've got to figure out what to do because I want to share that with the community. There are people in the community that can have really high-end stuff, and letting it go because it's filled with mycotoxins, which are much more resilient, much harder to get out than mold. Like, it's worth it, you know? So, I don't know. So I got to think about how I can deal with it and then share that with the community. That's another reason why having a community is so important. One person may have discovered what that solution is, but unless we're all in community, it's really hard for us all to access that information. Where would it be? Would it be in a tiny little comment thread on YouTube, or in a blog, or on someone's website? So I would like to bring the best of information onto one platform because I would like to benefit from it in case I get exposed to mold again in another decade from now, or 7 years from now. So, and some of you guys might feel the same. You move out of one moldy place, and then you get better, and then you have to move, and you move into another moldy place. So if really 70% of homes in the US have mold in them, I don't know what it's like in Italy. I can't imagine what it's like in some of these more tropical areas. And Costa Rica, I know, has a lot of. So you think, I'm hoping that this site is able to, or this community, this membership community is able to help people wherever they're at, and find new solutions. So I've been running the heater because it's really cold here in Utah, running the heater and leaving the windows open. The exchange of air is really important, but not really realizing that the filter traps all the mold spores and mycotoxins. Even though I've moved out, it's all over our belongings, and slowly we're getting rid of it. But so I found that you can spray your air filters, the intake filter, with this mold killing spray that's completely safe and natural, and it actually makes the house smell really nice. It's very subtle. It's got a tiny bit of citrus smell to it, and a tiny bit of tea tree smell to it. So if you have problems with citrus oil or tea tree oil, that's a bummer because this is a really good product. But I'm going to be looking for alternatives that don't have that smell. I did my laundry yesterday, and my stuff came out smelling so good. But I don't know if I did a little too much because of just feeling a little anxious about it and wanting to get rid of the mycotoxins quicker instead of over multiple washes. I may have done a little too much, and so I was smelling it on my pillowcase, and it was creating a little bit of uh, because I was a little bit sensitive yesterday because of the kind of things I put in my diet. And really, I worked hard and focused a lot, got a lot done. And I had worked the night before too, getting some stuff prepared for the membership. Um, anyway, you combine all those things, and I think I was maybe a little stressed and a little more exposed than I thought I was. And there's just this part of us that thinks that, we have a good day and we're all better. And it's like there's a short-term memory issue with mold, where you forget that small little triggers can put you back, and set you back. These setbacks are a total bummer because they make you feel fragile again. And and so I'm going to be looking for solutions, rapid recovery solutions after you've been set back. I have some, but I don't know if they work for everyone. So I'm going to be sampling different ideas and testing different things out, because it's really hard, especially if you've got kids and you've got family, or you've got a job that's really demanding and you work a lot of hours. I feel for you, and I would like to have affordable, rapid, recovery hacks that can get you back on your feet. And so that's what I'm searching out myself. It's a work in progress, and I do believe this community is something that over the next 20-30 years could be something absolutely incredible that people can come back to again and again, especially send friends to if they've been exposed to mold. I just ran into a lady who not too long ago, her entire RV, the drywall in it had mold in it, and she's been spraying it with bleach, which has been making her feel terrible. She's become so forgetful. She forgets everything, her keys, the paperwork, everything. And she's having a really rough time, and she thought she was just getting old and she had dementia. And no, right now I feel kind of old. I feel really old. Just after last night was brutal. And Anyway, so this girl, she's so sweet. And I just shared with her about parasitic vinegar and hydrogen peroxide and bombing her place. And and since I last spoke with her, which was a few weeks ago, I've just cannot believe the difference in what advice I would give her or what tips and tricks I would give her. They're completely different. And and so so we evolve, we get smarter, and mold can't outsmart us. It's not smarter than us. It's not more conscious than us. Mycotoxins, um, they're not, it's not a genius chemical. It's just a chemical. And exposure to it means we have to take into consideration certain things that are going to happen in our body after we've been exposed to it, those chemicals. And then what are the things that bind to mycotoxins? So I've been really upping my doses of vitamin C. I've got a special kind of vitamin C that I mix in with some orange. I fresh squeeze some orange and some honey, and that it's really potent. It activates the vitamin C, and it works really quickly. I'm about to go have some now, but I wanted to wake up and have some papaya because my stomach is really bugging me. Sometimes digesting meat is really difficult when your system's stress response kicks on and you're in the sympathetic system and you're not in the rest and digest system. And so if you don't know you've crossed over, then what happens is you you might eat a meal, and that meal is sitting inside you for a long time, and it's turning to acid. It's putrefying. It's not going through the digestive process properly. A bunch of candida comes in, a bunch of SIBO, and then you've got your you got the next couple of days that you have to then fix that particular issue to get yourself back on track. And the body responds so quickly to healing modalities, but it also conversely responds so quickly when things are off. So yesterday was a great day, and then turned into an off evening that turned into a pretty poor quality night, and I'm suffering now because of it. And some suffering is going to be there, but some suffering is voluntary. It's because of the choices we've made. So what we're going to do is analyze the choices that lead to greater suffering and put those on a list. And then a supportive community that helps us stick with what we say we're going to stick with. Because I said to myself, no bread, no butter, no marmalade. I'm from England. And so that's a really, when I'm feeling good, it takes me back to my mom, to my dad, and they're both dead. And they love to sit down and have some sourdough toast with some marmalade and butter. And so I was having a good day after not having had a few good days and having had a lot of work to do and some struggles with my other company. And and so I just wanted to celebrate a little, and that led to some more celebrating in the evening, where I got some organic Strauss Creamery ice cream for the kids while I was at Whole Foods, and I thought, this is just wonderful. And I had a couple of spoonfuls of the strawberry ice cream, a couple of spoonfuls of the cookies and cream, and it doesn't take much. Hot dog, even though it's grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture-raised, all that stuff, doesn't take much. Histamine levels went up. Sugar fed the mold. Mycotoxins triggered by the histamine. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, I'm having cerebellum balance issues and kind of like feeling like there's an earthquake, like this is happening inside of me while I shake the phone like that. And I can feel that it's being triggered from my vagus nerve, and it's going right up into the back of my cerebellum right here. And if I massage it hard enough, it causes my whole stomach to relax right here behind the head, right at the axis point, and the atlas, sorry. And if you just really massage it, you can feel the whole stomach relax, and then as soon as you stop, it goes right back. And so I know that there's communication happening from the stomach, from the intestine, up to the cerebellum through the vagus nerve. And whether the vagus nerve is being attacked right now by a co-infection of Epstein-Barr, that's a different story. Or it could be group B strep, it could be staph, it could be a number of different things. Those are the kinds of things that when we start getting better responses from people in the community who've had those things tested and then are able to share them with us, then we're going to have the advantage. We're going to have the insights. And that's super exciting to me as a community to evolve like that. I would like this to be the premier membership and place where people can come to, where the information is, you can bank on it. It's reliable, it's safe, it's tried and true, it's tested by people who are really suffering and struggling and who need to keep operating in this crazy world where expenses are high and stress is high, and our time is being consumed doing a lot of things like parenting, schoolwork, work, bringing our work home, or entrepreneurs where you got 1, 2, 3 businesses, and then you've got still the time you have to make for your own self-care and well-being, because at this time you need to nurture yourself more than ever, and it's strange because it's requiring and demanding more of us than ever. So this balance, you can't do this alone. This is too hard to do alone. So that's the point of this community. I have not found anything like this, and I need to create it. So it's done. It's born out of compassion and a desire to help other people who are struggling, and in that process, I'd like to just offer it up, and want to do it ridiculously affordable, like $8 a month or something, to where anyone can afford it. It's the price of a couple of coffees at Starbucks or something, and that way there's no excuse to not be a part of it and then gain all the benefit from it. And that's really what I want. I just want to see people back on their feet again, because I want to get back on my feet again. I want to feel people celebrating their wins each time they feel 5% better, 10% better, and I want us to celebrate together so that it gives other people hope, and they can be inspired by the progress that other people are making with their health. So because I'm so excited when I make some progress. Yesterday morning, if you'd have seen me, I was doing the shuffle and my daughter was laughing. She's 6 years old, going to be 7 next month, and watching her it just felt really good to be feeling like myself again. So but it's interesting, the saboteur that comes along, and I don't know totally if that's just me. So I don't know if that's also a virus that's activated, or bacteria that's activated, that is hijacking my ghrelin or my leptin system, or releasing biotoxins to cause me to get fatigued so that I go for sugary foods. and carbohydrates that then feed mold. So there's some complexity there. There's some interesting things there. And there's some technique and there's some systems that these invaders use to hijack the host in order to get what they want, to get their needs met. So we have to be ruthless. It's like being in a ring and understanding that you're up against an opponent that really wants to take your life. And it's so important that we fight like we're in a real fight. And we don't let our hands down and let the opponent hit us a few times, like I did yesterday or last night. Letting your hands down and letting your opponent hit you is giving them room to grow or act. And that would be scooping ice cream into your mouth or eating some toast with marmalade, no matter how good you think that is in that moment, and what a reward that is for you. No, it's not. It's self-sabotage, it's self-hatred, it's self-whatever. I can't label it. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's self-something. And sabotage seems to be the word that makes sense the most. So anyway, this is just a quick, 21-minute check-in and with some information. Sorry, guys. So ran a little bit long, but hopefully this has been helpful. And moving towards the community. I worked all night, worked a bunch, and got a lot of stuff done. It's getting closer and closer. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Bye.